So for today, we're gonna be talking about the portal, and I just really wanted to make this video because I really need to put my thoughts in a video about the portal itself, because quite frankly, there is some days where I'm just like, there is no point in running today. And when I mean today is the 25th before reset. So this is the reset for the 24th, which I'll showcase the rewards for that, because that's a huge portion of why I did not feel like playing yesterday, and a big portion of why I'm waiting for the reset today. So before I even get started with that, if you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe, really let me know how you guys feel about the portal itself, because I do think the portal is a good idea on paper. They just implemented it very, very poorly. So we were going to talk about some of the problems and some of the, like, I guess, solutions, I guess you would say, about like what they could do with this, because there are some things I think about off the top of my head that really need addressing. So again, like, comment, subscribe really does help. Huge portion of people are actually not subscribed, so if you can do me a favor, like, comment, sub, hit the bell notification. Also remember that the Discord is up. Other than that, let's get into the big portion of this video. So first and foremost, the reset for the 24th, the rewards were just lacking. The boom slang, which is a heavy that I'm not a big fan of. Cloak from an armor piece that I'm not a big fan of. We go to fire team, which is quite nihilist. 2, it's an okay SMG. I don't want to do Cabal's watch for it, because reclaim just for this SMG does not feel worth it to me. Another armor piece that I don't really give a shit about. Pinnacle, I refuse to do anything here in my current level, because for example, right now I'm 461, and honestly I probably would run like this one, and then I go back to A, which is really unfortunate, and doing it with fucking Braun just does not seem like fun at all. I don't know why though, because before this I was like of level, so I don't know, man. They really need to up the challenge modifiers too, because I don't want to fucking do just bow only on the Avalon one. So yeah, running this has been deteriorating to my soul. I'll showcase some of my runs right now, just to really showcase how bad it is right now. Once I hit 500, I probably will start running them again, because then I'll actually be able to do damage. But yeah, that's kind of like the whole thing that I find annoying about this whole thing, is like, if you're not at that level, like for example, if you're not at ultimate 500, it's going to be rough, because you're going to be shooting noodles out of your weapons. So yeah, specifically for Pinnacle Ops, it's just not worth it right now for me. Once I hit 500, I'll probably start running them again, because again, some of these are really terrible. Fucking the dungeons are specifically pretty terrible. Beneath the Necropolis is terrible. The Vengeance one is decent, but that last boss is like, I don't remember that boss fight fondly, and I solo flawless that bitch. So Pinnacle, there's problems that I'm going to talk about, but I want to talk about the other things first. Crucible, yeah, the Ahab char, I don't really care to like actually farm this weapon. So and you might have picked up what I've been putting down. The rewards for today were not good. They're pretty trash. Yeah, like I said, if you don't have a good boom slang, you can live without it, because it's not only, I mean, to be fair, I think it's pretty terrible. But the boom slang right here, I have rapid hit and Vorpal, which is like probably the best I'll go for. Maybe jolting feedback with rolling storm, but quite honestly, I'm like, I could live without this weapon. It's an adaptive burst, which is one of my favorite bursts, but goddamn, dude, does linear fusion rifles feel like they just shoot noodles sometimes. And I know some people might just tell me, oh, just run like the other ones that don't have anything to drop, because they'll still drop stuff. I don't really care to do that. I don't really care to just randomly just do stuff just to do stuff. I want to like actually farm something that I like I would do this one, but I don't like the Expedition Europa. That one takes fucking forever just for a like, my biggest issue here is just the rewards. It's not worth the squeeze, brother. That is the biggest issue I have with the portal, is just that some of these I'm just like, why would I, dude? Why would I spend like 10 to 15 is pretty generous. It's more like 20 minutes, because this is like the pirate stuff. And I don't know, for whatever reason, people do not pick up the treasure and throw it at the ship. They really do not. So this is more like 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the fire team that you have. I would love them to scale it to this is so hard because if I say scale it to how the length of time that you were in there, then people would just stay in the activity as long as they could for the maximum amount of drops. You could do it by skill, like maybe as like the faster you do, then the faster you do it, the more rewards you get. But then people would complain about, oh, the rich are getting richer, and it's all really fucking annoying because it's like, well, yeah, because they're showcasing skill. I feel like skill should correlate to rewards, but that's just me being weird, I guess. Yeah, that's my biggest issue, is just sometimes the rewards is not worth it, and I can't go to the world and be like, well, since Portal's not that good, let me just go to Savathun's throne world and do this dungeon real quick. Oh, that's right, this dungeon doesn't give shit. Nothing in this map gives you anything worth a dick. So that is like another big issue, is just the fact that if the portal's not dropping shit you want, and you don't feel like running fucking Caldera or whatever creation or K1 logistics for 24 hours, then it's not really worth to play right now, because again, Portal is the only thing worth doing. And the other big problem is Destiny 2 is not really worth playing if there is not an event going on, which is kind of sad, because like I remember I used to just log in and be like, all right, cool, I'll just play something, like I'll probably play the seasonal activity and just kind of turn my brain off. And now we don't even have that. Now it's just purely like solo ops, fire team, Pinnacle, and then Crucible. No Gambit, like there is no variety. And I know this is nothing new to complain about, but I wanted to make this video because I want to release my thoughts on this. The other big thing is, I think, and this is just more for equality of life for solo players, I really think that if you're a solo player, there should be a modifier. Like for example, let's say I'm doing this one. There should be a modifier somewhere that does not take points away, because that'll be defeating the purpose. But there should be a modifier like somewhere around here where it's like, if you're doing like, oh, solo healing finisher, so it'd be like Lone Ranger, I guess we would call it. And in that one, it'd be health. The boss health is adjusted for how many players are in the activity itself. I think that would be the best thing for solo players, or not even solo players, but like people that don't have friends, bro. Like maybe it's just 2 people or 1 person. That would be much better, because instead of doing this stupid ass dungeon piece where it's like, I think, what was it, like 20 million damage or some dumb shit, maybe I just have to do like 10 million damage or like 5 million damage, because again, like I don't like the fact that I have to do the same amount of damage as a fire team while solo. And I know some people might complain, oh well, that's like the difficulty of it or whatever. I think that's bullshit. I think if you can do run rotation of this boss without dying, you know how to do the boss. There is no need for you to do 20 million damage compared to if you're in a fire team, all you have to do is like 7 million or whatever. So I think they really should put a modifier, especially for Pinnacle Ops, because Pinnacle Ops sees the biggest problem here, and the fact that it's timed also doesn't help. So for me personally, I would love Pinnacle Ops, maybe fire team as well. I mean, that defeats the purpose, but there is some here that are not match made, so that's why I say that modifier would be good for fire team as well, because then people could actually do the technocrat, the dark priestess, or devil's lair by themselves, and they don't have to have someone in there. I know some people might complain that goes against the fire team ops, but again, maybe I really need to run like the coil or behemoth or something along like any of these to do something specifically, or maybe I just like Devil's Lair and I want to run it by myself and I don't have any friends to run it with, and I really don't want to go here fire team for just a strike. So I think the modifier should be there. I mean, solo, I feel like solo would just have it off the rip because you are already solo, but that's just me personally. So yeah, the modifier would be nice just because it would alleviate a lot of my issues with Pinnacle specifically. That is just a Pinnacle op thing that I really get annoyed about, because with the sword bug that we had last week, it really made me realize that, like, yeah, I could definitely run Pinnacle if I wasn't worried about damage, because a lot of this is just like making sure your mechanics are on point, and then boss damage was just like a secondary thing where it's like, yeah, I have enough boss damage, I don't have to worry about that. That was nice to know, because like running this by myself, especially when there's a bug with Galron, if you die in the Nightmare Realm, you just can't respawn, because when you respawn you keep dying. That was a lot, like the feeling of like, okay, I don't have to worry about damage was so nice. So I'm not saying like the boss damage has to be like really bad. It's just a single modifier for a single player is just would be such a nice quality of life, where it's like, again, call it Lone Ranger, and then boss health is adjusted to depending on the players, or depending on fire team size. I feel like that would be such a good change. Let me know what you think about that modifier. I know some people I might get pushback on that, but I also think it's just, again, like I said, I just don't feel the need to push 20 million damage when I know I can do this boss. I've done it solo flawless. I've done this one solo flawless. So I know how to do the dungeons. I don't feel the need to do 20 million damage when I'm just like, yeah, dog, like let me just do the amount that I would do in a fire team, and or just like cut it in half. Like I feel like that would just be the best case scenario. So yeah, my biggest issue is just Portal is just bad. Now solutions obviously would just be give better rewards, or the targeted the targeted rewards, give them to all the ones that so actually hold on, let me see. So fire team's a good example. So the solution to this actually would be to not only give every matchmaking one a targeted reward, which I think they already do that, aside from these two, but yeah, this one and this one. I also think it would be great if we could choose the reward. So for example, if we go in here, I would love to actually be able to, like, let's say the weapon comes out right here, give us like a choice of weapons that we could grind for. I know some people might say, oh well, people would just go to Caldera and farm that one. I feel like the best case for that would just have each playlist has its own weapon rotations and armor, which is kind of the case already technically. I say technically because solo and fire teams share the same weapons and armor. Pinnacle has its own and Crucible has its own. So I would say, I know Bungie might not like this, but say make a solo armor set and solo weapon rotations, so that way it can actually differentiate fire team with solo ops. I feel like that would be really cool, because then we could get some really cool like solo looking armor. I know how that sounds weird, but like maybe some hunter could have like a gunslinger solo type of thing, and fire team could get this armor set that sucks donkey dick. Yeah, honestly, it's just like, bro, like sometimes I just don't want to run this because I don't give a shit about this, I don't give a shit about this, and there is nothing like to target here as well. So like each of these having a target armor piece or weapon piece, or honestly, like let's say for example Skywatch, I want to do Skywatch, even though I hate Skywatch. Let's do K1. K1's actually kind of fun for me and super fast. Let's say I go here and let's say I need like a specific drop or something. You could have weapons or armor or pieces of them. So let's say two pieces of armor and two pieces of weapon. I could choose that weapon and maybe an armor, or just one. I don't really care. That would be cool, because then I could be like, okay, well, I don't like this weapon right here, and I don't like the weapons that they're showcasing, so I'm just gonna go to K1 and see what they're selling or what they're dropping. That would be the best case scenario for me, because again, some of these rewards are pretty trash for the amount of time that you're in there. That's kind of like my biggest issue, is like, why would I run anything in fire team when it takes forever to run these and they're kind of boring? Specifically, I'm looking at you, Reclaim. Pinnacle I actually would love to run. It's just I'm not at the level to run them, because again, everything takes like forever to kill. And Crucible is probably the best playlist, just because you could run Control or Cutting Edge Control and you're just gonna get drops like crazy, and all of them at tier 5. So yeah, that is pretty much my rant. Let me know what you guys think. I think the Portal could exist. I think Portal is a great idea and concept. It's just that them making this tab completely useless is kind of what gets me angry, because this whole map is like 90% of the game, and then you just gave us the Portal, which is like maybe 10% of the game, and a lot of it's not even that fun. Hell, I know some people might push back on this one, but the fact that we don't have Gambit in here is kind of crazy to me, because Gambit, although some people hate Gambit, I like Gambit. I like the rotation of like, okay, like this is another thing. Basically, this is me complaining about the whole changes. But Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard used to have a weekly like checklist of stuff you could do, and you could do it like almost forever. It was a lot of fun. I used to like just do Crucible and Vanguard. Gambit I used to do occasionally if I got bored of these two, and they took that away from us. I would love it if they put Gambit right here, and then the like rotation, or not rotations, but like another button right here showcasing the old like bounty system that they used to have. Not a bounty, but it was more like a checklist of stuff you could complete, and then you would get closer to that reward. Sadly I don't have a video on it because I would showcase it right now, but that would be cool because then it would bring back like a rotation of like maybe solo and Fireteam can count, or I guess Fireteam would technically count as Vanguard, then Crucible, and then Gambit, and then I could actually go back into doing that rotation, because again then I would actually do Fireteam, because not only would I be doing it for like the rewards, but I would also be doing it for the rewards of the like kill 20 people with this type of gun, and then at the end it would give you a weekly amount of bright dust, and I think it was a powerful. So I think they should bring that back, because that was a lot of fun for a lot of people, including myself. I would just kind of turn my brain off, play Crucible until I completed that one, and then go to Vanguard and complete that one. Honestly, if I'm being really honest, Crucible was the only one that I would really do that with. Oh wait, actually I can give you a good example, because I think this one does it. Yeah, it was this. So it was like, think of this but like Crucible inspired. So a lot of these were like kill 50 people with stasis weapons. It wasn't that crazy. It was like 20 people or some shit like that. And then the more you went to the center, the more you went to here, instead of ergo sum, it would be like a bright dust, and then challenger XP, and then I don't know about the ghost reputation. It was not that, but it was something else. So you would do all of this, complete it, and then it would reset, and then you could do it again. And again, as much bright dust as you wanted, because I think it was like unlimited. It was like 150 per completion, and I did not think a lot of people were doing it. That's why I was okay with the amount, because like people were not doing that much, but enough people were doing it because Bungie took it away. So yeah, just my thoughts about the game right now. Currently I just don't see the reason to play on days like this where the reward system is just not that good. I would love it if they let us choose rewards that we wanted, or just gave us more options, like maybe target all of these pieces, like maybe all of these will have like a targeted reward system, right? Where it's like, instead of this, you could get another weapon, armor, stuff like that. That would be a little bit harder for this type of stuff, but at the same time, I don't think that would be the case. I mean, to be fair, the fact that these don't have target armor or target rewards, it pisses me off a little. But like, I think target, like having target stuff for all of these would be actually pretty decent, because then it would push people to actually go into LFG, which I know what I was just saying a moment ago about I don't want to do LFG, but I did have to do LFG for where is it? This piece of shit, because it has a modifier that pisses me off. So yeah, as much as I hate LFG, I did use it for this one and this one. So I guess that explains some things, but let me know what you guys think. Apologies, this was a long video, but I just wanted to talk about my problems with the portal system, which I do think the portal system is a good idea in concept. I just think them completely disregarding this whole map is a big problem, because the Pale Heart just came out like last year. Was it last year? It's relatively new, and nothing in this is worth running. Like, that is crazy to me. So yeah, I feel like the portal just needs a lot more help. I know I don't want Bungie to put more things, like more buttons and everything, because then it would bloat it up. But I do think there should be like maybe solo, Fireteam, Pinnacle, Gambit, and then like a directory where it showcases like maybe weekly stuff that you could run that's within this map. Like maybe within that week you could run Dares of Eternity, and it'll actually drop stuff worth doing. Maybe it'll actually have one of the legends where it's specifically like, maybe not that one, 0 Hour or Prophecy or Ghost of the Deep, and then it'll actually drop stuff that's worth running. That's the other problem though, is the fact that like Bungie has a really bad reward system right now. I mean, right now is pretty funny considering they've always really had a bad reward system. But even more so now that our rewards are cut in like 75% as how it used to be, because back then you could run anything here and the world drops would depend on like what you wanted to get. Sometimes a world drop would be really good. Now a world drop's pretty useless because it's not going to be tiered, at least specifically for this map, I think. So yeah, that is pretty much my thoughts. Let me know your problems with Destiny 2 right now in the comments below. I would love to read them because I am not the only one here having problems, bro. I can showcase right now. I've been playing Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Warframe, Space Marine 2, Hitman. This one specifically, this one was a lot of fun, but like, I'm just playing anything but Destiny 2 right now because sometimes the reward system is pretty trash, and other times I'm just like, I don't find the point in playing right now. I love tier 5s, I really do, but if it's coming at the cost of like me running shit that I'm not like really having fun with, then I really don't find the point. So let me know what you guys think. Appreciate y'all. Be safe. I'll see you guys later.